A little backstory on that might be of interest to your viewers. Is when I first started to become interested in these issues, I had a lot to learn. I sort of fell into the pattern that most people at that time were in who were concerned of these issues. And that pattern was to be concerned about communism. Well, there was good reason for that, because if you remember back in those days, communism was taking over the world, had already taken Russia, had taken the Middle East, the Eastern Europe, it had taken Cuba, and it was working very actively in South America, Latin America, and we had a communist party in the United States. So all of a sudden you think, my gosh, well, these guys are serious. They're planning on taking over the world. So I became very concerned and interested in communism. What's this all about? I didn't understand it. So I decided I would go down to the communist bookstore in Los Angeles. It was called the People's Bookshop down at Larchmont Street. And for all I know, it's still there. I don't know. But it was there then, and it had a strange group of people in there. Some looked fairly normal, but a lot of them were more of the hippie types, and the young comrades were in there volunteering their services. So I walked in. Of course, I've got my business suit on. I got my sideburns and the narrow tie. I'm strictly from the corporate world, and I felt really out of place in that bookstore, but they welcomed me. They tried to recruit me into the party. They invited me to some study groups, I think they called them. They were recruiting funnels. And so I wanted to learn about communism. I really did. So I bought a lot of books. In fact, I think I bought all of them. I still have them in my library, and I actually read them. I say actually read them because I discovered quickly that most of the comrades down there had not read them. They were selling them, but they had not read them. Their level of understanding of Marxism, or Marxism-Leninism, as another branch of it is called, was very shallow. These guys and women were working on slogans, and just slogans mostly, and illusions, and it all sounded good, like from each according to his ability, to each according to his need. It's a nice slogan. What's wrong with that? Who could possibly be opposed to that? It's the basis of Christian charity, isn't it? Let's be against war and fascism and no exploitation of the poor and so forth. Let's bring peace to the world and get rid of racism and all these things. Well, let's sign me up. Let's go. But that's where the comrades were at in the bookstore. But I read their stuff, and I actually read the collected works of Vladimir Ilyich Lenin, and that's where you really get into the sticky stuff. Lenin was the theoretician of the Communist Party. Marx had nothing to do with the Communist Party. He was just a writer, a theoretician, an ideologue, and most of his ideas weren't his at all, I found out later. He was merely repeating what he had heard from others. But his book got published, and so his name is attached to those ideas. But they're all ideas, and I learned quickly that no country had ever fallen to Marxism. No country had ever fallen to the theories of Karl Marx in Das Kapital and the Communist Manifesto, because it was all theory about social order and economics and markets and things and exploitation of the worker. It was all the hype to get people angry and say, we've got to do something better than that. Where you really get into the nitty-gritties is where you start to read Lenin. Now, Lenin was a Marxist, of course. That was the foundation of his whole ideology. But he came to the very practical conclusion that theoreticians don't come to power. Militants come to power. People with guns and bayonets come to power, but not people who write books. And he said, comrades, our objective is not to win a debate. Our objective is to come to power. And so he formed the Communist Party and developed strategies and tactics not to win debates or to win the hearts and the minds of the people, but to come to power. And that's where you really learn about what we're up against. Because his theme, although he was a prolific writer and wrote many, many, many essays, there was a theme that ran through almost all of them. And it went something like this. He would say, comrades, if we are trying to take over a country, And the country has a strong tradition of the culture that's different from ours. And they're strongly nationalistic, and they like their traditions. Do we go into them and say, everybody, let's become internationalists and throw off your traditions and adopt communism? And he said, of course not. Don't be silly. Why, they would never do that. So what we must do is go in and say, we love these traditions. We are nationalists. We hate communists. We are anti-communists. We want to fight against communism. He said, then they will like us. Then they will support us. Then they will follow us. They will make us their leaders. And then when we become their leaders, we can betray them. And then he said, we don't have to win debates then, because if anyone disagrees with us, we shoot them. Now that in a nutshell is Lenin. And if people don't understand that, they don't understand what they're up against, because that's what the world really is being driven by. It's not communism or Marxism or socialism. It's being driven by Leninism, which is coming to power by any means whatsoever. So that's what I did. Brian, I got into all of that stuff. And you asked me, how did that happen? It just sort of one step after the other, just exploring and learning. And each step I took, and at every level of enlightenment that I was able to achieve, I became more enraged, more alarmed, more determined to get the word out about it. And it's just the pattern of my life ever since then. It's been pretty much the same, except for the fact that in those days, I had no idea how deep and how huge this topic was. Each time I learned something, I think, well, now I got it. And then I discover a month later, well, no, that was just the beginning. There's something else to learn. And that process is still going on.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I'm just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's also been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just an overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you gotta pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.